What would happen if the fiercest animal in the forest decided to roar in whispers? At the end of this story, you'll discover a moral you'll never forget. In the heart of the luminous forest lived Trino, a tiger with bright stripes and amber-colored eyes whom no one had ever heard roar loudly. All the animals whispered in confusion. Why would such an imposing tiger not roar with strength, as the king of all felines should? Trino preferred to roar softly, almost like musical whispers. He said he didn't need to raise his voice to be understood. Very close by lived Lana, a firefly with crystal wings, who secretly admired the silent tiger. She dreamed of being strong like him. One day, Lana gathered her courage and asked, "Trino, why do you whisper? Wouldn't you like to roar and have everyone admire and fear your strength?" The tiger smiled and replied in a low voice, "Dear Lana, respect is not earned through shouting, but through sincere words and kind actions." Lana was surprised, but the advice seemed valuable. From that moment on, she followed the tiger everywhere, watching him with admiration. One evening, an unexpected visitor arrived in the forest. Grawl, a giant bear with fur as dark as night and a roar that made the earth tremble. "I'm the most powerful in the forest, and no one can challenge me," Grawl exclaimed arrogantly, while all the animals fled in terror. The gigantic bear saw the silent Trino and, mocking him, roared so loudly that the leaves of all nearby trees shook. "So are you the famous silent tiger? Are you such a coward that you don't know how to roar loudly?" Grawl taunted, showing his massive fangs. Everyone expected Trino to roar to prove his power, but he remained calm, staring intently at the proud bear. Lana trembled with fear, but she trusted her friend's wisdom. She knew the tiger possessed a strength that went beyond roaring. Trino walked slowly toward Grawl and whispered clearly, "You know, roaring loudly doesn't mean you have true strength within." The bear burst out laughing mockingly and roared again, even louder, making the birds flee and the river itself stir. At that moment, Grawl's roar triggered a terrible landslide, trapping him under a huge rock. Everyone was terrified. The animals didn't know what to do. Some wanted to run, but Lana exclaimed, "Trino, we have to help him. He's trapped." Trino nodded calmly, and, using all his silent strength, gently but firmly pushed the heavy rock, pinning the bear down. Little by little, other animals also arrived to help, following the serene yet determined example of their silent leader. At last, they managed to free Grawl, who, ashamed and confused, couldn't understand why they had helped him after his behavior. With humility, the bear asked, "Why did you help me, Trino, if all I showed you was contempt and arrogance since I arrived here?" The tiger, with an even softer voice, answered wisely, "Because true strength lies in knowing how to help, not in competing." Grawl bowed his head in regret, understanding for the first time in his life what it truly meant to be strong and respected. From that day on, something wonderful happened in the forest. The enormous bear began to use his roar only to protect, never to scare. Lana also learned a great lesson from her friend Trino and began to shine with a brighter light, full of humility and generosity. All the animals in the forest then understood that it wasn't the volume of one's voice that determined their true worth. Little by little, the luminous forest became a place full of harmony, where even the smallest animals were heard. Trino continued to roar softly, teaching with each whisper that true strength resides in calm and mutual respect. Lana and Grawl became the tiger's best friends, always by his side and learning something new every day. Moral: true strength is not in raising your voice to intimidate, but in knowing how to use your inner strength to help others. See you very soon with more magical stories that will make your imagination soar and touch your heart in every adventure.